Hello, and welcome to some Factorio. My name's Trismegistus, and in this series, if I don't get confused with all the series I'm doing at the same time, but in this series I am... Let's just set that up properly. There we go. In this series, I am making myself some blueprints, having never built them before. They're very much my blueprints. So I been setting this to no back seating, so because I don't want to sort of use anybody else's. Obviously, I'm ending up inspired by other people's designs I've seen before and all that sort of stuff. You kind of can't help yourself, but yeah, these are my blueprints for my playthroughs. Very much designed by me. And what I did this morning, very quickly, was I kind of worked out what we're going to do next. So this is sort of all of the blueprints that I've done so far are sort of laid out here in that we've got the Kickstarter base, well, the first sciences and Kickstarter base. Hang on 1 second, that's a bit distracting. And take that over there. And have to keep it on screen because it sometimes if it dies I don't get any warning. Yes, so this is like the Kickstarter base, and this is sort of a bot base, and then this is the bus. This is a bus to do all of the sciences up to white science. There'll be sort of an extension to the bus, sort of an annex to do additional white science. These are the smelting arrays. Well, this is the final form of the smelting arrays. It's also the number of smelters you need to feed the bus, because I wanted to get a feel for how big it was, and the answer is pretty dang big. What we need to focus on today, I quickly sort of loaded it up this morning. Oh, and these are the science builds. So, well, these are the circuit builds. So we've got we've got 4 green circuits. We shouldn't have 4 greens. Oh no, there we go, red circuits. So we've got effectively 4 lanes of red circuits, and that sort of compresses down to like 2 lanes, if that, of red circuits. I think we could just have a check. I think that's where I ended up numbers wise. So we do it per second. So 45 for a blue belt. So it's not even 2 belts worth of red circuits. And then this is the blue circuit build, which is fairly pathetic. About half a yellow belt, effectively. Not even, not even any decent proportion of that. But you don't need a lot for what this base is meant to do. We then got the sciences. So we got red, green, blue, military somewhere. Where's military? Where's military? It's in here somewhere. Oh, military was probably earlier. Yeah, there's military. And then we've got purple science and yellow and gold science. And I laid them all out to give me a feel for how long the bus was. So this is a decent sort of a bus. And what we need to do today is work out 2 things. Well, there's a couple of odd jobs that will probably take all stream, to be honest with you, which is that we need to set the labs up. I've done some maths to get approximately how many we need. We haven't set up plastic. Plastic is going to be a separate build, a bit like these. Dedicated build, which feeds into this, and it needs to be able to do 2 lanes of plastic, basically. We've not done the oil build. We need to do the oil build. But then we're into the sort of other stuff. So we're talking about belts and inserters and building the assembly machines. I put that there. We'll probably build the oil, the oil refineries and chemical plants as well. We've got modules, we've got power stuff. We've got military bits and pieces, artillery, trains. So there's lots of stuff that could fit on, potentially on the other side of the bus, or further extension there. But yeah, so just to run you through. So what I did basically is I tried to work out So at this stage, when you're doing the bus build, you've already done quite a lot of sciences. You're up to blue already. You've got a bunch of bots. So what would you actually be building? You'd probably be building, or I'd probably be building labs with level 1 insert modules in, but no actual beacons on to match these machines. So this is like the first laydown. The next upgrade then is to level 2 things. Now, I suspect I would probably at that point also actually be, these would be like the first beacons that go down. So we'd probably actually go with that. But, you know, it's level 2 modules. And then the final form, I suspect what I probably need is like, for when we do, if I ever do like blueprints for a mega base, we're going to need 12 beacon science, I think. But I think we'll probably go. In fact, it'll actually end up being is like 6 beacon, rather than 8 beacon. But this was letting me do the numbers, because this basically, the very first version of the red science does just over 100 a minute. So assuming, you know, issues with supply and all that sort of stuff, about 100 a minute, and then it goes up to 175 a minute. And then it goes up to 500 a minute, so it's a big step up for that one. But then you're probably using triple, level 3 beaconed setup. So what I was trying to do, what I was doing with the maths, is trying to work out how many we actually need, because the idea of how I've designed this is it's a counterflow system for the science. So basically, the science comes down here. Now, I can plumb it in however I want. I've not, forced the plumbing, as it were. We can plumb in however we want the science, when I actually build it, sort of thing. But odds are we're going to have red and green on, that belt, then military and blue on that belt, and then purple and gold on that belt. And eventually, there'll then be white science on that belt. So essentially, we need to do some kind of a array that works for level 1 version. We need to do some sort of array that works for those 3 belts, like that. And is also can have beacons added to it, but perhaps then gets ripped up when we redesign it for the final form. And that's the final form is like when the white science comes in. So we can build it to start with without that in mind, and then it's just adding those 3 on. It's just accounting for those 3 basically. Now it may actually be easier just to do all 4 from the beginning, but that's what we need to account for. We can obviously do cross insertion, so that's an option. You can feed into labs. You can't go too deep with that. There's like a limit to the number that you can do, because it's obviously taking them out when they're in. So it puts in, say, 3 to start with, and then 3 get transferred over and over and over. And you get to a point where these are being burnt, so it's burning science so quickly, or across all of them, that this one doesn't actually do any science, so it's redundant. So, but we can do cross-feeding. But what I did, essentially, is try to work out some numbers. So the first setup of that level 1 science with level 1 modules in it needs to be about 50 labs. The second one, conveniently, is 56, so it's a very similar sort of number. The third one, that's if it's level 8 beaconed setup. And that's if it's 12. So if we end up with 6, it's sort of somewhere in between. I think it's 48. I didn't note it down, unfortunately. But it looks like 50 is probably going to be the number. So if we can do a design that works for 50 labs and is just, easily upgradable, that's kind of where I'd like to get to. Because, as I say, when you get to the stage where you're 12 beaconing, you're probably doing a separate science build, basically. I don't know that here's a sensible place to do it. There's not a lot of room, but we'll sort of plop it down. So, I mean, what we can do, as I say, got that in the wrong place. So we could potentially do, fairly simple design the difficulty kind of comes. I'm not a fan of belt weaving. Not you know, it just feels wrong to me, belt weaving. So I'm not going to use that. But you see, if we went with this sort of approach, and we put, you know, sort of modules on there, they don't end up with the same effect on them. So, I mean, well, something like that. So you see that's got 6, and then that becomes 5 for those two, and then it's 6, and it's because they become disaligned, as it were, unaligned, basically. But what we could do is we could leave a bit more space with the assumption that eventually there'll be one of those bad boys in there, and that also allows a bit of room potentially for bringing white science in, that we could bring it in at the top maybe. But if it was that, I say that then gives me the option to just replace it out. But by leaving them, putting them 3 apart, you end up with the same beacon effect on all of them because it's the same orientation basically. Okay, so if we were to potentially, because the other way of doing it is to do it like you know, horizontally effectively. So I say we could do feeding, you know, feed across between them, except we can't do that with that one, can we? Oh no, we could. And then we could do, you see, we could do bacons down here basically, and this would get us the eight beacons, 8 bacons. Yeah. And obviously we can move them over and stuff, but you'd then be able to put the power poles in there, and it's an easy replace compared to them. I don't know why I stuck them all quite so close together. We potentially have. Well, I say if I'm doing that, it's only the bottom one I need to support, isn't it? So if that was an eventual beacon there, you see, because it gives you the option of sort of doing this type of thing, which I say, then I can't underground it again, can I? Let me think. Well, I suppose I could just run it in there. Well, I don't have to replace them with the higher level ones. We can just sort of go for regular. And we potentially have, you know, something like that. Or there even. I guess that would need to be a. In fact, if I do that, there's no need to underground it, is there, really? But we could do that. So that can then be white science. We'll probably put two inserters on. So how many of those would we sort of need? I mean, because we could also like double split it and do it on the other side as well. So if this was like a unit, so I need to take them out, don't I? So if I copy like the middle bit. How many labs is that? So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Is that right? 16. I mean, we could put a bit of a test in. So if we... Because I'm not 100% sure. The trouble is, it's got very high, like, science speed on it, because it's the max speed, like, for the beacon, like, for research speed. I'm not sure I can be bothered to turn it off. Right, so if this was not a fluid source, if this was a matter source, well, let's put them in line. We need to start the infinite research. So oh, it's already on. Okay. So we can test it. So we want, say, in which case we'd be better off like, upgrading all the stuff, wouldn't we? Yeah. So if we assume it's blue and grey on this one, and then say other way around, probably gold and purple on that one, white sites on that one. Maybe it would be double belt on that, I don't know. Right, so that's them, but we need to... Oh, of course it's not powered, is it? Because it's too far away. That's a bit annoying. I mean, we could just... do something horrendous like that. I mean, or would it be more likely to be... Oh, and that doesn't actually reach, does it? Oh, I guess, yeah, it does, because it's, yeah. So if I put that there and that there. Oh, have I not got any stack inserters? They're on the list somewhere. This seems weirdly short. I don't know what that... I think it's because I've been playing Factorio 2 and stuff. It sort of gives you a bigger inventory. Where is green inserters? There. Yeah, I have got them. Just going blind. Right. Because if we put that there, will the power pole reach across? Yeah. We'd have to put something on the end, probably. Okay. So if that's there... and then that one's there... Oh, of course. I need to put them all. What an idiot. They all need to be 3 apart to get the effect, which is why I'm wondering maybe I don't do it this way. Because this gives a maximum, you know, boost, but is that really... Does that matter? Not sure it does. Like that. Copy that down. Why are they not doing... Oh, it's not got the gold on. Why has it not got gold? Oh, because that's got... That must have been where I initially set it the other way around. And this doesn't have a splitter. There we go. You see what I mean? You reach a point fairly quickly where actually, if I turn that off, the labs aren't working because they sort of burn through... Is that because it's so quick? No, it's a 30-second science. So maybe if instead I give it a 60-second one. But then the only one that does all of them is the robot count, and that's a 30-second science. So we assume it's that, and we'll just sort of ignore the military question. Oh, I haven't even got... Actually, this is even more here. Not reaching yet. Okay. Let me... Wait, what have I done there? So that should be there. 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 Yeah, you see, it's not able to actually put enough in. It would if we had stack inserters. So if this was, you know, stack inserter. Transfer. We could always have two. Oops. Then it stops being like an even number of... Are they all got? Yeah. So you get a temporary blip, but it's pretty much continuous. And of course we could just have 3. Or alternatively, given we've got these here, we don't even have to do that, do we? We could have inserters for them, and it reduces the amount that it's transferring then? Because it's just the red and the green that it's got to move up. How many would that get us? Yeah, you see it does blip out. So we'll take that one out. It's usually about 3 or so that you can support. So you can do, you know, all sorts of things with belt waving and all that sort of malarkey, but I'm just not a fan of doing that. So yeah, if we did 3, do they run continuously? Not quite. It's not far off though, is it? Could also, I mean, it helps to actually have lower inserters on them. Yeah, it's unpowered if I do that. And event, you know, when we switch to the other one, Potentially have something there. See, I don't know what that's really sort of gaining me in a sense, because it's, you know, is that more upgradable or less upgradable? Right, let's see. Basically. So if we said that it was 3 labs, like that, we probably need... Why are you not... Oh, you're not powered because... Okay. What do we need? Yeah, we do. Okay. It's annoying. So if I get rid of these bits... And copy and paste this one down. Like so. It's got purple on that belt still, isn't it? So they're running fairly continuously. Yeah, there are little blips and blops of it not quite having enough packs, but that's kind of normal. So how far up? So 10, 10, 8, you see. So it's not even running, but there's that. That's probably fine, isn't it? So how many of these? So if I certainly get another one in there. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So we would need like, so that's 30, 45, 60. I mean, we don't need that many for 30, do we? Well, for 8, are they 8 beacon technically? Because we've got the 2. In fact, let's turn that one. So we've got the 2 in there. So that's 10. Yeah, so that they are 8 beacon, and that one's only 6, sort of thing. So 30 would sort of work. It's a little bit under. I think that's probably fine. Okay. No, it needs to be more than that. Sorry, I'm thinking about the wrong number. So it needs to be higher than that because it's not 8 beacon, is it? But it's not that much higher. So it is sort of maybe 45. And then they're just running low, as it were. But if I did, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, if I did 4, 3 or 4, it's 12, 24, 36. Okay. So we could have a unit that is 4. Like this. Okay. Don't need any of that stuff. That could just be a regular inserter. Don't need any of that. Does that work? So let's chop these off. So if this is the blueprint, And then I can sort of put in as many as I want, effectively. You know, that's the sort of concept of it. And it fits in quite well in terms of sort of the size. It's not sticking way out beyond any of the... In fact, it's very similar size to all of the science builds, which is quite useful, actually. Okay. Okay. So then, what I need on the front end of it is this type of thing here. So we need... In fact, can I just copy one of these? So if I just copy something like that, and we can tweak it. So it needs to be the other way around. In fact, let's flip it. Wait, why is that half? What have I done there? It's half flipped and half... Is that because this is messed up? No, that's okay. I'm not sure what it did there, because it's... Oh no, it's going the same... What? I don't know. Take that bit. Flip it round. Okay. So, alignment-wise, that's usually lined up with that. So, we need the large power pole in there. Okay. And these need to be assigned to a particular... In fact, can I move it one closer? Like that. And then we can copy that one again. And somehow that's got misaligned anyway. Like that. So we want... It doesn't really matter, but if we say that that's red and green science. And then this one is... Because this is the one that's coming over with the long-handed, so it is sort of slower. Well, not sort of, it is slower, but most of the time it's going to be focused on one of the sciences, hopefully. And then this is... Now, which way round are they most likely to be? Because I put gold in first. Yeah, because that's bots. Right. So it would then be purple. And then, I mean, we'll put both sides for the white. Well, so this is the unit. Seems quite excessive with the power poles. Why is that? I mean, can I do that a bit better? Could I do that a bit better? Let's have a look. So, because this is like the final form version, and then we'll sort of downgrade it, as it were. So, could I use these guys? Ah, that's quite a convenient place, isn't it? Quite convenient. And then one at the top there, maybe? It's still a bit excessive, but a lot better than before. In fact, yeah, I just have to have that in there. Have I forgotten anything there? So we've got... Each one of those is 3, 6, 9, 12. Then we've got beacons and modules. So this one is slightly down, but not sort of significantly. And then I'll repeat that 4 times. Yeah. Oh, hello, Graham. See, beacon labs without belt weaving, nice. Yeah, I'm not a fan of belt weaving. It just feels like cheating to me, and I don't don't have any sort of stronger explanation of than that. Basically, it just feels. I say it just feels a bit like, you know, an exploit. Because I mean, I mean, I suppose you could rationalise it that, you know, a yellow is quite shallow, maybe. And you know, a red is quite deep, and a express one is super deep underground, maybe. But to me, it just feels like cheating. You know, it's like, well, how are these connecting together and not, you know, not crashing into each other, sort of thing. Yeah, I like that. I mean, well, I don't. It's fairly ugly. If I'm totally honest, in fact, it doesn't show me there. But it suits the purposes. Should I cut that off there? Let's not waste science unnecessarily, I guess. Yeah, okay. I don't know when they... Yeah, sorry, it wasn't meant to be any kind of criticism of anyone using it. I mean, you know, play the way you want sort of thing. It was just, for me personally, it's always felt a little bit cheaty. But, you know, the developers don't exactly... I mean, they must know about it. You know, they can't be, you know, unaware of it. So they're obviously clearly happy about it. So this is Science Labs. Which are where? Well, they're not in that tab. Am I being stupid? Well, I'm clearly being stupid. Where the heck are their labs? Oh, there they are. Dumbo. And then, so this is like the level 3, basically, with in quotes max beacons. It's not max, obviously, but okay. So then we need the versions that are the lower grade versions. So I guess we could just use one of these. That's good. I get it. People won't handle other people's opinions. Downgrade all of them, and I guess probably that would still be blue. And then if we drop those to to those, and those to those. La. So that's now the red belt version. No, it isn't, because I've put level 1s in like a complete idiot. Oh, I've got 2 upgrade plans, which have got the same things on. Brilliant. What have I done there? Oh, I made that one. Okay. Right, let's do this one again then. So we don't want 1s, we want 2s in this one. But yeah, so I'm okay. I never quite know where Sundays go. They always seem to be over in a flash sort of thing, and it's I don't know if it's an 8. Well, I know there is a. As you age, as you get older, your perception of time actually changes. It's a weird sort of thing, and days do become shorter from how you perceive them. So I don't know if it's just that kicking in for me, or it's just just that, you know, work is encroaching, as it were. Okay. So with this one, will that do? I bet, is that the other way around? Oh, that's why, because that one's an upgrade. Right, let's do that again then. In fact, let's just get rid of both of them and I'll do it again, because I'm getting a bit confused. Doesn't take much, but there you go. Right, so this needs to be from level 3 to level 1. From level 3 to level 1. From level 3 to level 1. Level 3 to level 1. Level 3 to level 1. Cool. I mean, we can have 4 versions of this, actually, thinking about it, because I suppose there's a version... Or would I? Because this doesn't make any... Oh, no, it does, doesn't it? Where are they? Yeah, it does. It makes a handful of modules. Okay. Okay. So we'll have... This has been the level 1 version. In fact, no, we won't, because we wouldn't have those. So I do need to rework that. Need to oops. Need to redo the power. But yeah, let's connect them both up so that I can tell when I've properly connected it. Yeah, so I guess the long-handed insert is meant to be for space science only. Yeah, so it's actually for I mean, it probably would be better to make it space science, but it's for the chemical and military, because the only science that uses like all of the inserters is the follower robot. All the inserters, all of the packs is that one. And so if I'm doing, you know, artillery artillery, yes, it is being, you know, it is having to do two sciences, but you know, how often am I actually going to do the military upgrades? Really, it's that one you need to focus on, and then the long hand is only doing one, and that one, and the long hand is only doing one. So it should be okay. Usually is. But yeah, I mean, I've put these on here, but yeah, you could easily put the white science on that one, and then as you say, it's only putting in just the one. But yeah, otherwise it's doing the chemical or, you know, and the military as well. But then I think I set the military up to be lower production anyway. You know, it's like half the size of the others. Where's it gone? 302. Yeah, so it's basically half volume anyway, because, you know, when you're doing it in anger, it's much less commonly used in my experience anyway. Let's put it that way. Right, so yeah, we need to do the power poles again. Now, yeah, I'm gonna have to put them there, aren't I? So we need those ones there. What do we potentially? Just seems silly to have so many in it. So if that was there. Have to be there. I mean, I could move the inserters. So if we were doing them there, would that get everybody? Not quite, because that's not undergrounded. So if you were there, it's not connected. Why is it not connected? Okay. That's not too bad. It's not too horrendous. Times the number of poles. Yeah, okay. And then, where was it? Underneath that one and that one. Wait, that needs, I didn't do the... Didn't do the inserters. Cool. Right. Come in. Oops. There we go. I watched your little video with the with the where you're testing the rockets. I'm a bit surprised actually that did it crash properly, like full on crash, because it can sometimes, you know, if you try and delete everything, it just sits there for ages, you know, doing it as it were, and it just won't update, rather than it actually crashing it. Yeah, did it? I'm interested whether it actually sort of killed it or not. You know, like properly. Right, so we got. That's the red one. I mean, at some point I'm going to have to do a big old test on this anyway. So, oh, I've forgotten where the science was again. There it is. And then beacon, and this would be number 2. And then this is number 1. So science, beacon. Okay, so put these in here. I guess really they should be on the. Okay. So we do want another one eventually, for like proper 12 beacons. 12 bacon science. But yeah, idea would be to have 4 of these on the go. Oh, wrong thing. Science. Down there. In fact, maybe I should put them. No, it doesn't matter. I can work all that out later. But yeah, we'd have 4 to give us the number that we need to eat all the science. I could always have a 5th one in case, you know, for the other one. That's about 50. Yeah, so we could always stick another one on if there's anything left. Oh, okay. Looks looking good. Yeah, it's progressing along. There's still quite a lot to do though. I was a bit sort of. I was trying to think it through. Oh, did I delete? Shoot. I've deleted the number of. Okay. But yeah, still quite a lot to do. Right. I guess we'll just build it down the bottom somewhere. So we need basically 2 lanes of plastic, because let's see if the see if this will die. Right, where's plastic? Oops. A second. 127.5, really? Oh, is that because it includes that? I bet it's because it includes that. Let's just pop one in and see what it. Yeah, it's 2. It's just because, you know, making construction robots is, you know, they're only half a second each, so throws the maths out. Right, so how am I going to do... Oh, that's obviously not on my list of sciences. Nope. Right, yes, so... Plastic. Where's the labs? Have I got any labs? Yeah. Well, normal arrangement I would go for. Let's say I'm sort of minded to do something different. you know, sort of make it work better for plastic from the get-go. For beacons from the get-go. Wait, actually there. Something along, oops, along those lines. And then output. Sure. And with powerhouse like so, and lights wherever. So how much does that actually produce? So it's 8 per second. It only requires 4 coal. Okay. So if we doubled that up, why is that not tiling? What have I done wrong? It's the belt, isn't it? What have I done wrong with that? That should be there. No? Because that's on the... That's the other side. That should be that one. Yeah. Have I messed that up? So that's the one there. It's going under. So that would then be there. That's on the right hand side of that. What have I done wrong there? It's that one, isn't it? Oops. It's just that one. No? Confused myself. What's... So if the pipes are there... Get rid of that bit. So this would tile like that. Tiles that. So how do I normally get the... I suppose it's like that. Yeah, that's okay. Don't quite know what I did wrong there, but something wrong. Right. So I would usually do something like that. Which is all fine and good because it's about a yellow belt. The problem usually comes when you go to upgrade it because you end up with... That would be the red. No, thank you. To on a 5K scale, that's why it takes me a while. Wait. they lined up? Don't really matter, but plop them in. Yeah, you see there's then no power for bacon, so we have to move that out. That's not a problem. So those two don't have, excuse me, any coverage. Again, that's not too difficult to fix. Just now. There. I guess actually, yeah. So if I take that out, what would it look like? Out of reach now. Okay. So if that was like the yellow belt version, so we've got coal coming in here basically on each one. And then I messed this up, didn't I? So what would we be doing? We would be going from yellow to red. No. In fact, I don't need to set all that if it's just doing that. Well, I do, because it'll do the blooming inserters as well, and I don't want to do that. So, oops. So the splitter goes from yellow to red. Now does... I guess I would be putting... So these, I mean, these are just here for representation sort of thing. They're not... Wouldn't actually be doing that. I would actually have level 1s in. That's plus 10%. Okay. And therefore, can I get away with less? Oops. Just throwing it on the floor again. So what does that do to the numbers? Yeah, that goes to 19, you see. So I don't even need 14. Oh, I do. So you can get rid of 1. I wonder if it would work with just prods in it. Because they were slightly over to start with, weren't they? What numbers does that come up with? 15.2, okay. Let's just, if I get rid of them... And it just so it definitely isn't doing any... Yeah, that's fine. So if it then switched up to level 2s and upgraded it, what does the maths look like then? 30.2, so it is slower. Okay, what happens when it goes to... Oh, where did the other one go? Oh, that is... Oh, idiot. So this one's the level 1 one. And this... Oh, I didn't put that. Didn't put the old modules in. Okay. Now this one is the one that goes from red to blue. Like so. And then we go from 2 to 3. Okay, but we also then acquire these. Okay, so what does that produce? Oh, right, so it's then back up to... It's then back up to Beltsworth. Just over. Okay. So maybe this is a case of... The problem is the slowdown from the modules. So maybe there's no module on that. But what happens if we go... Wait, I guess these actually aren't properly aligned, are they? Oh no. Well, we've got an extra one on both ends. So get rid of that. Which is that one and that one. Do we even need that then? We do. Okay. So if I grab that. Wait, grab the wrong thing. Grab that. Which is there. Oops. But that needs to be level 2. So if I go for 3 down to 2, what happens to the numbers there? This may be so lazy, this max rate code. Oh, right, yeah, so there we go, 34.5-ish. Okay. So we can have the pseudo bacons on there. Okay. Now, am I aligning? How many of undergrounds am I doing? How many of undergrounds? Because this is oh, where are the? There it is. This is them. This is coal coming in. And then this is... Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? Look at that. But then why have I got an underground now? It's not really achieving anything, is it? I guess, am I aligning these in the same way that... So I could put them anywhere, as it were? So they're all sort of matched up with, you know, bacons for these? Is that what I'm going for? Because these are misaligned. Do they tile next to each other? That's a question. Yeah. That's where the extra 1 comes from. Because the next row is offset. Including my Factorio brain collapsing a couple of times too. Yeah. So the max calculator has made me quite lazy. Because I just sort of use that a lot rather than try and work it out myself. But some of the maths is quite complicated, really, you know, because of you know, the effects of modules and beacons in particular. And I never really, still don't know that I fully, I mean I do, but I don't, as it were, understand what crafting speed is supposed to be. Because it's like, it seemed to, like, I never know whether it really takes account of productivity or not, because to me, you know, productivity is part of speed, as it were. If you're going to get a free one every, you know, whatever, 5 crafts or whatever, then that's changing your average rate. It's not, you know, so effectively it's a speed thing. You know, it's not independent of speed. You know, if that makes sense. I don't know that that's a good one. I don't think the blue circuits is a good one to line it up with. Oops, that was a bit weird, that one. So if we line it up with, say, red science, not, but if I get the right one, that one. So if it was lined up, you know, if it was just next to the red science type of thing, then I'd want the bacons to align. So it'd be there, for example, and then that's lined up. And then in order to attach to the bus, we need, you know, one of these, but for coal, and it needs to be here. So this needs to be the coal line coming in. It's a bit weird, really, isn't it? Not that I've done that, but the idea is that it gives me room to avoid where are they? Roboports, because it fits in the middle there. I could just wrap it around a roboport, basically. And also, I wouldn't have another underground. I'd have a balancer. Oops. So, you know, oops, that's not the right one at all. So, oops, in that one. So there'd actually be a balancer there rather than just yet another underground. But if I was not bothering to balance, then that's what it'd be. But basically then we don't need more undergrounds. We can just go with that. Yeah, and this is coal. Oops. That's coal. So we need to get power in. I've been putting the powers in the second one, basically. Because you do need a power connection. That's lined up, isn't it? Yeah. So if I copy that up and then just downgrade the belt a bit, that could be an element. So it's there. And right, so instead it should be yellow belt. Like that. Red belt. Like that. And then we need to work out where the pipes need to go. So we need a connection there. And that's just ever so slightly too far. How annoying. Is that going to work if I put it there? Yeah, that'll do. So this is then the petroleum coming in. Petroleum. So how long do you think you'll be before you're sort of ready to give it a go in anger? Your mega base. Okay. So that's the. Oh, well, I could put. In fact, that's a point. I could have an underground here, so that I can join these belts up, because this is just floating at the moment. So if we took it down to, say, there, and then this is here, should be good. And, so this is the plastic coming out. Plastic. In fact, yeah, let's just do it like that. Go and move that. Let's move that one over. Just to sort of give a little bit more leeway with the pipe situation. Okay. So if I now copy this. So he's getting that. So tell me where everything needs to be. I can just upgrade to my heart's content. Oh, does that not do... Does it not do... Oh, doesn't do undergrounds. Doesn't do split mergers. Interesting. Right. No. Yeah, doesn't auto upgrade splitters. Right. But now there's no power connection. If I put it here. If I put it there, there is. It's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Maybe just offset that. I think that's the least worst sin. Now I get some lights in it. Cool. Like so. Cool. Okay, so let's just double check. So we've got, oops, we've got just over a belt of plastic, yellow belt of plastic there. Bit over a red belt of plastic there. Bit over a blue belt of plastic there. Okay. I need a new book, I think, because we've got the... That's the bus itself. That's the bus science. That's the bus circuits. So this would be, I guess, bus oil. Maybe. And then we want that one there. Oh, why is it poking out the... So this is plastic 1. I guess we could put a yellow belt on it as well to indicate. There's my blueprint there. This is, in fact, maybe I didn't change the settings back. No, automatic. Don't know why it's doing that. Right, resume. No. So that's the red version. So this would be plastic, red belt, number 2. And put that in there. And then this is plastic, blue belt, number 3. Cool. And put that in there. Yeah, so we would have 2 of them basically. 2 of these. Yeah, so the idea is you fit it around the whatchamacallits. Although on this side of the bus it's less practical, but you always just weave the belts around and stuff. And I suppose it doesn't really give a very good connection to the petroleum, because the petroleum's on this side. But yeah, there'd be 2 of these essentially. I think have I been sticking them way out? Oh no, I have been wrapping them around. But that'd be sort of there. Because this would slowly get deconstructed as you built more stuff, I think. Could just leave it, but it only does up to blue science. So yeah, there'll be 2 of them. And therefore over, well, two belts worth of plastic. Okay. Which should be enough, certainly, to feed these. I think. Hopefully. Why does that say 105? Why does that say 105? That's not good. Have I got too many red circuits? I was just stamping them down to give me a feel. But have I put too much... I might have way too much red circuits. What I could quickly do is if I find the bot production bit, this bit, so we get rid of that, then we should be able to do the numbers for the whole thing and it not go wonky. If I can avoid including anything. Oh, it's got a certain... Wow. Okay. That's annoying. There. No, what is it today? Normally we don't have many people around 2 days before we go on holiday. 5 people randomly turn up. You mean as in... Sorry. I assume you don't mean for work. I mean, yeah, at home sort of thing. Oh, if you need to go, don't worry. Don't need to, I'll be just chunking away on these blueprints. I know this isn't... It's not necessarily the best stream, this one, because it's... So yeah, that's not enough plastic bars, is it? But then I'm way over on the advanced circuits. I don't know that I need that much at all, do I? Why did I put that many in? Because I've only got 15 left over greens. So I don't really need 3. I think I've just overdone it. Got carried away, you see. Got carried away. So we get rid of that. Now what does that do to the numbers? Again, let's see if we can get this. Oh, those are labs anyway. I won't count them. No, a little bit further over there. Let's give it another go. It's a pretty chill stream though. I think most of my streams are pretty chill. They really do. Well, high excitement games I probably couldn't stream because I'd be so focused on them. But I wouldn't be able to talk as well. At least this sort of game. I know it so well that I kind of don't panic with it at all. Okay, so there we go. So it's still slightly under, really, the plastic. I think part of the problem, actually, is the blue. We don't need as much blue. That's quite an overproduction of blue in the grand scheme of things. So if we were doing... Can't I put it on belts? I can, can't I? Oh, there's plastic, yeah. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, isn't it? So the plastic is slightly over in terms of 2 belts, but okay. So yeah, I think possibly the blue belt build, blue circuit build is too big, as it were. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, let's have a look at the the plastics, the oil side of things. In fact, I think I'm just going to get rid of this so it's not in the way when I'm doing the maths. Wait, oh, of course, that was the connection for the power thing. So I'll have to reconnect it. There we go. Is it going? Yes, I did. Yeah, sorry. I said earlier. Yeah, I saw that. Actually, so did it full on crash then, or did it just sort of you know, freeze up sort of thing? Because I have had it, particularly when you're doing, you know, grand scale deletions. It just sort of takes ages for it to do it, and so it sort of seems like it's crashed. But you know, if you give it an unrealistic amount of time, see what I mean, then it will sort of kick back in. But I wonder if it did actually full on die a death, as it were. So, I guess this would actually be advanced oil, wouldn't it? Now, how do I want to build these? Because this has the same sort of issue where getting beacons around it is actually really quite painful because of the old space restrictions. Because you can usually get with the pipes, because you usually get them up there, okay, but not on the other side. So I'm wondering if I build this so that I can put more beacons on it, or whether I don't bother. You can usually sneak one in sort of there. But that's sort of as good as it gets, really. And then, you know, you can always do them on the end, but it's not really gaining much. So, I suppose the other one is I could just do... Or would that be... Because they're unpowered then, aren't they? He says not having connected it to the power at all, anyway. Let's put that. It just totally freeze for about 20 minutes, so I reset the game. Oh, right, yeah, it probably did properly crash then. 20 minutes is too long. But now, to be fair, you were giving it a massive deletion order, so... In fact, a ridiculously big deletion order. But your rockets seem to be running okay. I don't know... I don't know if there were any problems with it, but I'd say it looked okay. So, what does that look like in terms of sort of... Oh, I always get this. So 85, but a pipe doesn't... A pipe carries... Oh, I never get this right. Let's just use some void thingies and I'll actually test it out properly. Right, so on fluid voids. So if these are the 3 outputs, fluid void, and then we want fluid, where are they? Fluid sources, there we go. get them all nicely lined up. So that needs to be water, that needs to be crude. So this is like full on 100% Piper stuff coming out. Going in rather. We're all running with level 1 props. Now would that be my first arrangement? I don't want to, because I say it is making some modules here, but they're like the last thing that gets built. Where are they? Oh, I just deleted it, didn't I? But oh, there we go. Oh, there's a speed. But they're like the last thing that gets built, and it's really slow. And I don't want to sort of overtax it, because all of the builds do have, you know, level 1s in. So maybe I just... The first version of this doesn't have things in. Oh, have I not? I've got them the right way around. Is that not connected? It's not connected, that one. Okay. Oops. There we go. So it's getting the stuff in. Getting the stuff in, getting the stuff in. Okay. So we should be able to do like double this. No problem. It's usually about 10 or so. The space science filling and emptying I thought was cool. And I think I changed the game speed in that guess. It's more of a clip. Yeah. That might have been it. That might have been part of it if it was if you had the game speed all boosted up, because it was probably trying to. Well, it's probably hammering the processor anyway. Okay. So how many of these could it actually support then? Okay. Just take that out. I never usually sort of try and max out the oil because I'm so terrible with doing the fluids. In fact, what I normally do actually, thinking about it, I do it the other way around. So I have 2 rows rather than. So we align that. If I grab that one for there, and then these would be fed out the same thing. So if I do that. Like that instead. Does that use up all the oil? No. Because this can't output more than you can't more than fill the pipe sort of thing. Okay, but what does it do if we level 2 it? So if we go, let's do another one there. Oops. And then the level 2, I guess. Now, how would I upgrade it? There's a question. So if we went to level 2, what would I actually do? Max game speed setting seems to be 100, which seems to be double speed. Okay. That's interesting. I wonder what it represents that, as it were. I assume that that actually does, because this isn't. So 60/60 is what it sets it at, rather than being. You know, you can run it unrestricted, as it were. It's just that it's running on its own clock. If that makes sense. Because the game has its own internal clock, which is obviously tied to the. You know, the processor, but it's not actually. So if I wanted to go 1 to 2s, no, what would that? No, what would that do? Okay, so they're all running. How many more could I support then, I wonder? Okay. What's it do for level 3 then? So if we do another one, yeah, another one. And then this one becomes full bore level 3. I'll swap the prods out. It's full on level 3 prods. Oh. So make those switch to prods. Are we still okay? Doesn't seem to be running out. So it's based on a massive assumption that I would be able to feed it in like this. So bad with fluids, it probably wouldn't. Okay, so how much is it producing? So it's making that much. So what's that? This is the best one, isn't it? And that's the medium. It goes down to 800-ish. So it's 11 for... Obviously I need to do cracking and stuff as well, but if it was that, how far off would we be? Oh, I managed to mess that up again. If we delete like all of this. No. Just connect it like that. I could put another one down, but it seems a bit easier to work out. What's going on with just one? Right. So, I mean, in fact, let's move these over. In fact, move this one over, I think, to here. So that's the, if that's the final fault one, how far off are we on supporting the science build? So it seems to be saying that would be enough oil. But it's actually probably over, because we've got loads of extra heavy. Which of course will be cracked to light. Light appears to be a perfect match? That's bizarre. Oh no, light's not being used for anything, is it? Because aren't I making rocket fuel? I'm not making rocket fuel. You don't need it in this. That's Factorio 2. Yeah, because I'm making the batteries, yeah, directly out of petroleum. Where's petroleum? There it is. Yeah, so we're down by a bit of petroleum. But as I say, we've got tons of heavy. and tons of light. Yeah, okay. So this build is like overkill when it's at level 3. So if I swap it out and then do that again for level 1 and just do a bit of brain fart maths because it's like a 5th. So petroleum is only 73 below. And obviously we've got loads to, and that, I mean, so that's trying to support level 3 production with, you know, level 1, boosted machines, so not boosted. Where's? Yeah, we're still way over on heavy. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that works then. So we now need to set it up in terms of how would it connect to the fluid bus. But numbers wise, that's fine. That's fine. This is fine. Let's get rid of this sort of rubbish. Okay. So, how would I want to connect it up? Because what we need to do, obviously, is the cracking. It's cracking side of it. Now, do I want to integrate that? I know people do these swanky integrated things, but I'd rather just have separate ones, I think. Maybe I put all the cracking together. Excuse me. Okay, so the outputs are so heavy there, right there, petroleum there. Great, and then we need some sort of arrangement, but if we were having water, petroleum, they would be lined up. That would be a little unfortunate, but not too bad, because that's now oil, isn't it? Okay. So those two are oil. And those two are water. Okay. I mean, I guess I could just, put one of them on. Maybe I just, because that's only like half the amount, isn't it? Water that you need. So that's a connect it up. How? In fact, no, I don't like that. We'll put another underground. Will that reach? Yeah. And then we'll just. It's a plumb it in however I want, sort of thing. But this tells me what I need to plumb in where. Okay, so water, crude oil. Petroleum, light oil, heavy oil. Okay. Like it. Creating mode is definitely very good for the planning and making blueprints, yeah. Batteries build FML. It's an easy one though, and it will probably small build too. Do you mean... Sorry, you're talking to me, or... I'm not sure if you mean your own ones, because I don't actually need... So my intention is not to have separate... I would normally, but I'm not going to have... So when I've previously done buses, I've put sulfur on the bus, and also had sulfuric acid and lube as like bus elements, but I'm not going to do that for this. So basically the fluids are all that's coming into the bus, and then where I need, whatever I need, that's where I'm putting it on here. Because what I tend to end up doing, and I could always, align it better, but what I often tend to do is I'll make this close to where the trains are dropping it off, and then I'll build the batteries and stuff next to it, and you end up then with a massive line. You know, there's then a massive distance from wherever I've built like the batteries to where they're actually being used, because if you're feeding it in the bottom, you know, I mean that's science, so that's not there. You know, that doesn't need batteries. This is green circuits. This is you know, red circuits, and it's only blue circuits where you start to need sulfur. So you've gone sulfuric acid. So you've gone a long way with that. And even if I put them on the other side, you know, it's up there before you even need, you know, need the stuff. And then you've got red science doesn't need it, green science doesn't need it, military doesn't need it, blue science does, but only sulfur. So I've just integrated a single sulfur in there. In fact, the numbers. One of the reasons the numbers have been wrong is because I should have overlapped these two builds, but I haven't. I've just put them next to each other. Whoops. Oh well. And then it's only when you get to, you know, gold science where you start to need batteries. So, you know, if you look at how far up that is, that's batteries there. Or that's like half of the existing bus. And so you end up with a massive chain of batteries being made. Plus, you've either got a hive of iron and copper, you know, earlier in your thing, or you've got to send them backwards. You know, if I've built batteries, you know, here sort of thing, there isn't necessarily any iron and copper nearby, or I've got to siphon them off in some way or something like that. So I'm basically going to build batteries locally. So, you know, when I do the accumulator build, it'll have the battery production integrated in it. The disadvantage of that, of course, is it makes them, you can't flip any of the designs because they've got chemical labs in them. Oh, if you're 5K, you forgot about. Sorry, yeah, okay. I didn't know. I wasn't sure if you were suggesting that for me or not, but no. So I mean, lube. You know, you only need it for electric engines and blue belts. So I'm going to build it. I'm going to do it locally for a change, basically. Is my current plan. It may, you know, it may not survive contact with the enemy, but that's what we'll try and go for. I'm just wondering, can I get rid of? It's not connected anyway, is it? But do that. No, they're not connected, are they? Oh, that's fine. Oh well. Oops. Yeah, so that's the yellow. Sorry, that's the level 1. Oil. I'll leave them all in, just so that I know where they need to go. So this is oil processing 1. So I can put this in the new book. And then we got level 2. Yeah, I guess we should have the beacons in for level 2. That's fine, I think. In fact, probably given it seemed to be okay, I think I might actually switch this up. So it switches over to... Yeah, I'll have to do a upgrade planner for these. But if I make all of that rods, yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. So if I blueprint that one, so that's oil processing. Excuse me, number 2. There we go. And then this is number 3. Oh, I forgot to put the front ends on, haven't I? Oh, I'll do that in a sec. Your front end. I forgot your front end, love. Forgot your front end. Right. So do that again. Better than forgetting your back end, I guess. Right, so if I just copy this up. I'll redo the blueprints. Oh, I need a power pole connection. So ooh, that's annoying. Let's just put one in there. Did I put lights in? No, I didn't even put lights in. What a mess I'm making of this. Lights in there then. Okay. Got to get a bit of light on the subject. Wait. So I put it one down from the... Yeah. One down from the outer pole. One down from the outer pole. There we go. One down from the outer pole. One down from the outer pole. Cool. Okay, let's redo them again then. Again. Put that on there. Get rid of all of them. Oops. That on there. Cool. That on there. Oh. Excellent. Oops. Why do I give advice on this series? I don't know. So that comment you just made, it held the auto mod held it. And the terms it's picked up is lube and massive. Yeah, too much lube. So, but yeah, so it says permitted. I've permitted the term lube and I've permitted the term massive. I'm not sure. Well, I guess massive in the context of lube is what it's doing, but massive itself shouldn't be a problem, should it? That's brilliant. Oh dear. I can't imagine what people must be posting in for that to be flagged as a problem. Blimey. Some comment, some Twitch streamers must have to put up with all sorts of strangeness if lube is a common problematic term. That's amused me, that. I like that. Right, so I mean, what I could do, I suppose, is build these in such a way that it sort of adds on almost like as an appendix. So if it was built there, you see, then those would also count. I'd have to orient it slightly differently though, wouldn't I? So it would need to be, that's the corner there. So it'd be that one. Yeah, so it's tickled me that. Guess the bots work so well. I don't know that that's. I don't think that's MooBot. So I have the like a Moo, you know, the MooBot thing on, but I don't. I've never seen it do anything. That's probably more sort of. Would it be probably be better if that? Oh wait, no, because you need water, don't you? So we need that to be the light coming out. If I'm gonna sort of do that, yeah, because we need water as well. So say if this was like a, you know, an annex as it were, and a appendix. How would we connect it up? Or how would I connect it up? Well, I don't, you know, I have set it as, you know, it's a tricky thing because it's, I'm not, I don't know. The whole, you know, what's it called? No back seating. It was just because, I don't know, I was getting a bit sort of sensitive, I guess, of, I'm not, you know, I'm not against, like, suggestions and stuff totally. It's just, say, I was just a bit sort of feeling a bit weird about people. Because there are some things that don't matter, in my opinion, with, like, you know, how things are built. How do I actually want to do this? I mean, I like that idea. But how do I want to connect it up? It sounds like this, you know, doing the pipes. I don't think there's any, you know, there'd be no value in anyone making it, you know, suggestions on this. That'd just be annoying back seating, you know. I guess I could do it even though it's... Is that really the best idea? Probably isn't, is it? Because the idea is it needs to be connecting to this. So this is what the ultimate output needs to look like. So actually they're kind of the wrong way around, aren't they? The way I've done them there. Let's just leave that actually for a second. But no, I was just sort of, you know, I couldn't think of a way of basically saying, in a sense, you can suggest things, but, you know, there's a good chance I'll probably just ignore them. Is that like the maximum distance? It is, isn't it? So if that was the heavy, that would need to be the light. That would be the petroleum then. So we connect up like that. So maybe if this looks more like this, what does that do? Because that's Mach distance, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, and there's no connection for them. So these pipes are just rubbish anyway. So I'm not connecting them up. Okay. So if that's like that. So the bottom one was going to be water anyway, wasn't it? So that one there is water anyway. Yeah. Okay, so if this crude oil oops, didn't mean to do that. Crude oil looks like starting on the inside. So this is like where it connects to a train, basically. And then water is there. Maybe if I put it back a bit so it's not quite so messy. Yeah, and that fits that one. So then that's the crude coming in, which is one too far over. Okay. So that's the crude coming in. Okay. And that's too far. And that's even farther. Okay. So maybe if we just have a intermediate pipe there. It's a bit more tucked out of the way. So that's the crude coming in. This is the water coming in here instead. So how can I do those pipes? So that would be maximum extent. That's probably not a bad place for it anyway, because yeah. So if this was the bus to give me the spacing, then the water would be here and here. So we can intercept the water there, okay. And then we need water for this one as well. Ooh, ah. Is there a better place for that? Not massive fan of intercepting them, so I think I will. What's the maximum? Yeah. Like that. Yeah, but I think that was the auto mod. As in, because I also have the like the chat moderation thing. You know, the default one for Twitch, as it were. I think that's the one that was unhappy about you talking about lubricant. Rather than the Moobot. That's the heavy, isn't it? That's not light. Because, of course, they're the other way around. Of course. Of course, of course. So this should be here. And this should be here. There we go. Okay. And I can just move them down to indicate how it would need to join into a bus. Do I put them there? Because that's going to need to be... Because that is now petroleum. And that is now lube. Spaghetti's just unavoidable with pipes, isn't it? It's just like, not really got any choice. And that sort of puts them separate from the waters and the crudes. Okay. Now, how am I connecting this one up? Because what we want is that to actually go into there. So if I put them there to remind me. So I've completely redone the bottom end connection, haven't I? That's fine. Oh, hello, Ultimate Plate. How are you doing? You're going to London in 7 days. Crikey. Is that for your sister going to Liverpool University, was it? I think. Why have I connected? Oh, that's water, isn't it? So that's heavy. Okay. That's the heavy there. And that's water. Yeah, your sister. Cool. So you're going to be a tourist in London, are you? Or is it all just to help your sister move, sort of thing? It's worth checking out the sites if you've got any time. They've actually just so they've been renovating Well, it's actually technically called the Queen Elizabeth II Tower, I believe. But the Big Ben, basically. They've been renovating that. And it literally just finished on Thursday, I think. Might have been. So this would need an extra 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's worth checking out London, see the sights. See the old, the big wheel, whatever it's called, Millennium Wheel. I don't know why I put them in now. Right, so that would be like all coming out, wouldn't it? Okay. So we would probably want a pump there. Make sure it goes in the right direction. We've then got the hole. Only do... So in fact, probably want a pump there as well. Go to M&M World, I think. Oh, right, the, yes, there's a... I don't know if I've been to that. It's like a shop, isn't it, where you can sort of make your own M&M, like, you know, you can have all, you know, all green M&Ms or whatever. Right, so that needs to come this way, doesn't it? Not that way. Yeah, so that would be the heavy coming up this way. Yep. And then we need to connect water somehow as well. Crikey. So water is this one. Oh, that's riskily close. Is that water? Yeah, that's water. And it doesn't even reach across. Okay. Do I like that being there? Not really. Not a great big fan of that, but I don't think we've got too many choices. So we could put that... Oh, look at that. That's annoying. I mean, is it going to matter if this is like one tile further down? In terms of the speeds and stuff? It's not really, is it? Because that's not even hitting that one. So it'd probably be better if this was... there, say? Because that, it's not even, that wasn't doing anything. And then I can at least... Oh. Wait, did I not move it? It needs to connect to that. There. Because that's water. Yeah, so it's getting the benefit from that one, but not the other one. There's no point adding one in there. Okay. But say, with it being the heavy one, it's not exactly a massive loss. So that one wouldn't even connect. I think we probably need 3 machines anyway. Yeah, no. God. So that's heavy coming that way. So how have you been anyway? How's your schoolwork, etc. going? It's been a little while since you popped in, actually. I was saying to... So, as you know, I mean, you set up the Discord and I proceeded to completely ignore it because I'm a bit of a plonker. I'm gonna kind of embrace it properly, as it were, and we'll try and do sort of something with it, as it were. Because some people want to do what somebody's contacted me about doing. A bit of multiplayer with them. So it'd be convenient to use the Discord for the old chats. Because really I'd want to do it that way around again. So I only need to have one pipe. Un pipe. It doesn't need to be 3 apart, does it? If we've only got fluids. Maybe one there. So we need another one of those range. I haven't obviously done the logic on that yet, but that's because I don't know if it's going to be here or not. So that could be the light. Does that connect back in? Yeah, it connects back in there. Like that. So then it would need connection there. It's just slightly too short. But we do need a pump on it. Still slightly too short. Excellent. Excellent news. Okay. So that's that one. And that needs another one of them. Could have to get water in there somehow as well. But that perfectly fits to a connection there, doesn't it? Except that that's light, not petroleum. Okay. So in fact it's perfectly bad is the net result. Okay. Blimey. I'm not a fan of that. Let's see. So this is the petroleum going past that one. Crikey. It's getting complicated. I just put that there. Oh, they haven't got any things in, have they? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Are they lined up? Let's make it at least symmetrical. Okay, cool. It's okay. Cool. You thought about where you might like to go to university? So that would connect up to that one. Okay. So that's the normal bus. This was just for reference, wasn't it? So I can get rid of that. But that's water. Yeah, okay. Right. Let's connect some stuff up and see if it... Well, actually, let's put some power stuff on. So if I put that... Where? If it was there... Or maybe if I put... Oh no, didn't reach. That's annoying. Maybe on that one? Oh, that's horrible. No. Not a fan of any of those arrangements. Would that work? Well, that's not too bad. Then I suppose this would be on the other side, would it? So we could potentially... Oh, I never connected the thingy up. I'll need more of these, but... We'll put that there. That on there. Could that be there? No. No. Wouldn't be that nice to me, would it? It would not be that nice to me. Just know where I can put it that it's not horrible. Okay. Right, so what about you lot? You need a thing here. Equivalent to that. Stop a bit of backflow. Do. One of them. Okay, so if we put that... Oh, I didn't connect the water up either, did I? So that's the water there. Nope. Like that. In fact, that could be another pump, couldn't it? Ensure a bit of pressure that way. But then I'll bet it'll behave very weirdly. Is that connected? Yeah. So if we put a power pile there and there, and then we can connect this in here. And is that the output? It's the output. Okay, it's too far though. Why does that connect but that one doesn't? Oh, it doesn't connect. Okay. Right there. Okay, so let's put some voids on the end here. Wait, I think they're the wrong... Oh, we'll soon see. And then if we connect... Oh, I didn't put any power on this. Obviously, so it needs some logic stuff, but... If I have one there and one there... Connect... Like that, maybe? Ah, you need power as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I say they're the wrong way around, aren't they? Right. So if we connect up oil and water, accidentally undid something there. Oh dear. So, oil here, water here. What did I do? Oh, turning them round. No? Oh, it was the power pole. Okay. Oh dear. Right, so let's just see if it all functions. Yeah, I didn't think that'd work because there's this weird thing where it like robs it out of it before it even connects. So we don't want that power pole basically. Power pole. Don't want that pump there. But I could probably put it there and it'd be happy. But so it's a bit strange. A bit strange. In fact, I'll probably put a set of pumps there. Oops. So why have I aligned these differently? It's because that's coming further in, isn't it? But maybe if I put that there, a little bit tidier. So, is everyone running? Is everyone doing its job? They're all running. They're running, so if we put in the same thing as usual, 2 and 1. Da-da, da-da. Da-da. And da-da, da-da. Da-da. Cool. Oh dear. So they're all running. So we need the logic on. So you always just end up... Part of the problem is these guys. Because this whole thing of... You know, it only connects at the corners. And the blooming pump jacks do the same thing. Where when you turn them round, they're at like the same corner for some reason. You know, every other thing, as you rotate it, the connections rotate with it. So, you know, that's a bad example because it's the same ones. But so that, for example, the water's on the bottom right, as it were. Then it's there. Then it's there. Then it's there. So it's rotating around. But with these guys, it does that flopping thing. When the, you know, you got your two corners are there. And you always end up with this sort of rubbish. I mean, I get why I did it, because it'd look very strange if you had 4 corners. You know, because this does look like a big fluid tank that you get in factories, but so it doesn't make it any less annoying. It'd be better if it just had 2 connections, I think. And then it could rotate round properly. Anyway, enough moaning. Right, so... that's all flowing and happening. Now, what I need to do is sort of work out... excuse me. We basically need enough capacity to essentially turn it all into petroleum. That can't be right. Well, I suppose it is 2 sets of oil things. So if I added 12 more of these, 12 more? That seems ridiculous. Oh, I can't. If I add this one, 12's not right, is it? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. Oh, doesn't it work differently with fluids? It goes a bit weird, I think. Because that actually means these guys, the heavy, not these guys. So if I take that out, yeah. So it's down to 5. 5 too many of these for the amount that I'm consuming. If I put 1 more in, yeah. And 1 more again. Yeah, so we're now using up all of the heavy. So if we put... some of them in. What does that do? So we're still over reducing the light. Still overproducing the light. Oh, one more would probably do it. In fact, it would just overlap it. Yeah, so that's using up all of the light and heavy, turning it all into petroleum. Okay. Oh, notifications? Why have I got? Oh, blooming thing. Thought that might be you, Grim, again. With your dirty lube talk. Right. Oh, come on. Too fast, you see. Too fast. So if that was the thing there. So I need to work out, basically, if this goes to... If I boost all this up again, you know, does it become... In fact, it might be better if it was the other way around, really, wouldn't it? Because then I could just fill in those gaps and have the light there. Do I want to mess around with that? I mean, I've got it all working. It's still here. Sorry, I just meant... It came out with some notifications on the Twitch thing. And I just wondered if it was warning me that someone was trying to do something dodgy again. Because it tends to... It's one of the ways you get the spam bot things coming in. Via the notifications. They sort of send you messages. Okay, so I need to put some conditions on these, don't I? So this needs to only activate if the amount of heavy goes above. I'll set it quite high, I think. I normally go a bit low, but we want it to be able to fully handle it. Or, you know, keep making load, basically. And then we want another condition on here. That is if light goes above. I might set that a bit lower. Because you get so much. Why is it... Oh, it's... Got the wrong arrow on it. Okay. That's better. Excuse me. So you're thinking about load now? Yeah, it's all I can think about now. Right, okay. If I do flip them round, I'll do it off stream. We're not going to fiddle about with it again. It's painful enough getting it done. Yeah, oh, I've got trapped again. I wonder why it does that and why they've never fixed that bug. I guess it's because it's squeak through causing it. But it's weird you can sort of go into that gap but not get out again. Okay, so I could put some lights on these as well. Just to sort of show me where they are. And then I've not put lights on these anyway, so... In fact, we've got too many power poles here. Oops, don't need that one. Let's assume it's okay. I don't need the extra pipes. And then... Does that need to be every one? I don't think it does it? No. Get rid of them. Again, let's assume That's all okay. And that we don't need these ones. Okay. And then we'll put some lights on. Like so. No, missed. Yeah, I mean, the notification was just telling me I've technically done... In fact, do I need that one? Technically done the whole affiliate thing. So I'm guessing I'm going to receive an email at some point saying I can make tens of thousands of millions of dollars with all of the subscriptions I would definitely 100% get. I'm joking, of course. I'm not. I don't even want any subscriptions, let alone that. As I've said before, there doesn't seem to be any way to be an affiliate without also having the subscriptions. Right. So if that's the level 1, I can probably just get rid of these now, can't I? Because I know what I'm changing. So this is the level 1 initial design. Oops. So let's put that out of the way. Cool. Let's tidy this bit up. So these would be... Need to move them up, but they would be... Oh, move them down, but they would be there. And then these ones are here, just for indications. Okay, have we got any spare? This is spare, isn't it? That was just for spacing. There's me voids. That's just my reminder on how many iron for steel. Okay, so that's the unit. What happens when we go to level 2? So if we copy that up. Oh, I've got the power pole. Okay. So if this was level 2, let's align it at least. Oops. Do you mess with the circuit network to make indicator lights ever? Yeah, I mean, sometimes I usually for trains more than anything, to be honest with you. I don't tend to bother with it because I could obviously hook these up and connect it, you know, circuit network wise, and you know, either to the tank or whatever. But I don't tend to bother with that because a lot of the time you can just, you know, so if you just hover over a loop pipe and it's empty, or a heavy pipe, it's empty, it'll be empty basically. So you don't really need an indicator usually. I wouldn't say. I mean, you can put them on, but yeah, no, trains I usually do, and that's one of the things. You know, there's so much I need to design in this series. I keep thinking I'm sort of almost there, as it were, but no, there's loads I need to do. But I usually do trains. I actually want to go a bit fancier than I normally do. I normally do, you know, where you just have, you know, 6 boxes or whatever. Say, I don't think I'm going to do 6 boxes for particularly anymore, because you end up with so much material sat here that it's really difficult to get rid of it. But I normally do the whole, you know, you wire them up and you've got, you know, oops, you know, whatever carriages, wire them all together. I've lost the wires, there we go. Wire them all together. And then do a bit of the old logic. I don't imagine if I've even got any, have I? Where is it? That's the decider combinator. There we go. Oh, It appeared and then, there we go. Disappeared. And then, yeah, you know, hook it, I mean, obviously with wires and all sorts of stuff, hook it into a thing. And do the old counting system with, you know, we'll have several of them and, you know, 2 trains and all that sort of stuff. Normally do that, you know, that type of thing. But what I want to do this time, because this is like a crude count, because it does the whole thing, it just adds them all up. And I'd quite like to do a thing where, obviously these would be loading in, so it's, you know, the amount of stuff we've got sat there waiting to be loaded in. But I'd quite like to do a slightly fancier version where we've got a count for each of these, basically. So rather than connect it, you know, across there, we hook it into one of these and we make a decision on this. So potentially we can have a, you know, specific decider combinator, or maybe it's just one and it carries the signal through. And perhaps we do a, you know, one of those negative ones where it says this output, say this is, you know, iron ore or whatever, so it outputs whatever number we come up with, but it's minus 6,000 or whatever. And then, you know, if you hook those two together and then do an actual decision based on that, so if it goes above, you know, or maybe it's a division, maybe it's we divide the two in, you know, so it's not a negative, you know, and basically get it to say, you know, yes, there's 2 carriages worth here, 1 carriage worth here, 2 here, 1 here. So the only train, so set it to 1 train basically. Because you tend to get an effect where, especially if you've got uneven loading, which you can, obviously we don't want, but you can sometimes end up with, where basically, you know, say there's more in the front carriage, and it effectively compensates for these being half empty, or more empty, and so it'll say bring, you know, send a train, and the train then sits there for ages because the back carriage can't fill up. So yeah, I want to do something a bit fancier than I normally do, but we're way off doing that. I was going to my bonus was a bit low. Maybe I could boost it with Twitch, maybe, but no, I'm more interested in getting like the channel points and stuff like that. You know, so people can, you know, they get the points and you can redeem stuff. I'm sure you know what it is, but you get the channel points and also emoticons. You know, so we get a few emoticons going, and I just because you can get them. I mean, it's not on Fiverr, but it's people, you know, advertise on Twitter and stuff as well. Why is that not running? Oh, I guess because I didn't put the voids on that one. So if we just get it running. Yeah, I'd quite like to get the emoticons. The emote icons. Didn't I set this up to... Yeah. I did. Yeah. Oh, it's got level 1s on it. Okay. I put them to 3. Now, bottom. Swap them for 3s. So they want to be 2s. No, we want to do 3s to 2s. No. No. 3s to 2s, not 1s. Crikey. So that should have level 2 prods. So we want level 2 speeds in the bacons. I think this is how I did it anyway. Let's have a look actually. So bus oil. Oh, these had 3s in anyway, so I got that wrong before. Okay, so that blueprint was wrong anyway. Right. Put these in. Come on. There we go. The emotes could be my thumbnail faces. Yeah, that's the type of thing I was thinking. But I need to do a bunch more of them because I think I said before I really enjoy doing them. It's something like I really hadn't expected. I think I said before. I mean, I kind of worked out what the problem was because I ended up hating doing editing when I was doing the Stardew series. But it turned out that was basically because I was trying to work in 4K. And so everything takes ages because 4K video is just gigantic. It's like, well, it's 4 times as big as 1080p. And 1080p is not quick to render, but yeah, I sort of ended up hating editing because it would take me all day to do one of those Stardew videos. And nobody watched it, which didn't matter. But it's like, well, what, if nobody's watching these, and it takes me an entire day to edit a 20-minute video, that's an awful lot of work for no real point. Because I'd initially thought that, because I'd kind of quite like to change career altogether, do something a bit more creative, or at least, well, and I thought maybe editing would be the thing. I could, do some sort of editing type thing. Not on, not big scale, just little stuff. But say I ended up finding it quite boring because it was as it turns out, because it was taking a ridiculous amount of time. I was like, let's make some thumbnails. Feels like I got something wrong on this, and I don't know what. Thumbnails for videos, and because I watched one of these, like tip videos on how to do thumbnails, because they're quite difficult to do in a sense, because from a sort of point of view of they're very small. When you see, particularly with people when people do it on mobile, watch on mobile, the thumbnails are tiny, and it's difficult to know what to put on, in a sense. So, it's not consuming enough light if I do that. But yeah, and it was sort of saying, because if you actually look at thumbnails, on YouTube, they're, people do like really quite exaggerated, facial expressions, and it's because it's a small picture, and it's like, you can't really see, particularly on mobile, you can't see what's on there unless the person is really hamming it up, basically. You can't tell what's going on. That didn't seem to change. Why did that not seem to change? In fact, this is sort of wrong anyway, because there should be more there, but if I undo that, so it's 10.39 there. Oh no, it did change, but not as much as I was hoping. Okay. So we need a lot more, basically. Oops. So we need that one. No. Well, I can do the power bars in a minute. So if we do that, I don't know. That seems like way too many. But it isn't. Okay. I don't mind if it ends up, a bit off, but that's a lot of processing. Heavy to light. What does this one look like? Oh, that's not quite even hitting the thing. But then it's... No, that's all level 2. But yeah, I was a bit sort of surprised that I quite enjoyed doing that whole... Basically gurning, you know, making stupid faces. Sort of for the for the camera. It was really quite fun. Oh, I've only got a rubbish camera. So it's not... they're not that very good quality, but I need to do some more, because I've repeated quite a lot of them. So we've got one in there. But yeah, I sort of figured, you know, maybe I could, you know, get someone to make emote, you know, icons out of my stupid faces that I've been making. So yeah, that's not technically enough to support a heavy, but that's an intermediate step. So here, well, yeah. So here we start off. We're using everything up, and it's going towards petroleum, which is kind of what we want because we will be focused more on the lower level stuff. Here, we're using up all the heavy. We're getting loads of extra light again, aren't we? So. And light's not what we want, basically. So if this becomes the new size, what does that do to the numbers? So the level 2, we add on, so that's too much, isn't it? But then it's not enough when we go there. So we could do it in 3 steps. So how many could we take out? Was it about 4? No. Take another 4 out. Okay, so that's too much light. Because by the time we're doing this one, we're going to want light for rocket fuel. Okay, so let's tidy these up. Get rid of all of that. Like that. Is that one touching it? No. Is that one touching it? Yes. So it needs extra... Oh. It's a power pole mess anyway, so that... Oops. That one needs to go. And that one needs to be introduced. And then we have one extra there. So it feels like this should be here. I should put the light here. That feels like a me doing between streams thing. Okay, so that doesn't work anyway. Especially with these completely random poles on the end. But is that not in the wrong place? No, that's fine, isn't it? Because they become proper, you know, proper ones here, basically. Come on, come on. Right, so that one go, that one go, go, that one go, that one go. I can't. Why has that not worked? It feels like something's got messed up there. Is it just a coincidence of positioning? I think it might be. So that one finishes. Oh no, it's because this one should be there. And we've got the one poking at the end. Okay, and then there, there, there. Oh, I hadn't realised they were zigzagging. Of course they are. Oh, actually, so we've got one extra. Yeah. So that should be there. there, there, and one random one on the end. Always got to have your random one on the end. That's what your lube's for. Right. So. They're not doing anything though, are they? Why are you not doing anything? Oh, I suppose it's, yeah. We wouldn't actually be doing this with the heavy. You know, it wouldn't all be being consumed in this way. Instead, it would be backed up because, you know, you only need a little bit of lube until you get to blue belts, and then you need loads. And we want it to go onto the bus in preference, and it just means that, you know. Yeah, so if I took out this and that, eventually they'll kick in because it will all back up. Okay. Right, yes, so those are the designs. It's not far off 6 o'clock. So this is the problem with this series. I absolutely love doing it. But I don't know that's that. I still don't know that it's that great for you guys because it's sort of. It's just me. You know. Well, it's always just me talking to myself, but in a kind of an extreme way. Right. So those are the inputs. Well, no, those are not the inputs. Those are the indicators / inputs. And then we want them here as well. And it would only be those ones. And that's how we know to connect it up to the bus. So same again here. And here. Like so. And like so. And like so. Yeah, I didn't think we'd get that far beyond, you know, the lube stuff, to the oil type stuff today. But we did the labs, the plastic and the oil build. So that's not too bad. Cool. Right, so I'll just blueprint these. Where are they? So in here. So it's that one is this one. I say I feel like this should be aligned with this. Obviously, you know, this is going in and out, but given that this goes all the way up here, it seems a bit wasteful to not reuse some of these bacons. But that means completely reworking all of this. But yeah, that's fine. I say I'll do that. Between streams. Betwixt and between streams. I think that's gonna. Yeah, I can't avoid that power pole. Okay. Get rid of it there. Double 3 one. Yeah, at some point there needs to be like a grand test as well anyway. So, in fact, I'm not going to do it like that, am I? What I actually want, probably, is a separate blueprint to add these on. Because to some extent you don't, I mean, you know, we could swap this out when it first gets built. We could use, you know, just regular, simple processing, you know, simple cracking. What's it called? Simple oil production. This one. And then I could swap them in when these get added on. Because, you know, it's the plastic and all that sort of stuff. You don't need lube until you get to electric engines. Which, way down the science tree. Right, so yeah. But yeah, I say that's another thing I'll do. Between streams. So happy with that. Happy with that. I mean, I guess we could start like belts or something like that. Yeah, I'm tempted to do this backwards in a sense of doing it. Let's not do that. So we'll start with, you know, the green machine version. Now, if there was a power pole connecting, I mean, technically, I think it would be in the middle on that one, wouldn't it? Well, I'll go with a standard, my standard way of doing it. I think I'm fairly happy with it. If I can remember how to do it. So we want. Let me think. So we want that there. Because we can't. No. So it must be there. And then we get gears on these ones. Gears on those three. That one there, that one there, that one there. And then like that. So there. Yeah, that one, that one, that one. So belts there, red there, there, and then I mean it doesn't really matter, but let's go with splitters on this side. Undergrounds on this side. And then we want. In fact, let's use levers and I won't get it wrong then. So, that's there, isn't it? There we go. Because that's. And do you need gears? No, you don't. You start needing gears there, don't you? That's right. Yeah, okay. Do you need iron plate? You do. So do you. Okay. That. And then, how close do those want to be? Because that needs output, doesn't it? In fact, with it being yellow, blue. Oops. Probably do that. It's not connected. Okay. I don't think that needs to be. I think it can be pushed because this doesn't need circuits, does it? No, it needs lube obviously for that one. But that can be. Do you need? No, that's right. But we can move this down. Like so. Pop one of them in. well. Like that. And then you need iron plate, don't you? Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. And then you're just gears and thingies, and you're gears and... Okay. Suppose if this is the final form version, we go with requesters. Oops. So, this is iron plate coming in. Excuse me. So that's your iron plate coming in. I'd be curious to know, actually. I've never really done the maths on these. I normally just sort of set it up and leave it to chunk away. But we'll have a look at the maths as well. And then this is iron plate as well. But on this side, doesn't it need... Yeah, they need iron plate. But they can get that from there. And then it's... Yeah, circuits. Okay. And you don't need circuits, do you? No, you just need gear wheels. Okay, so... That should actually be like that. Like that. Copy this. And obviously, say, I mean, it would be rods probably. Slows them down, gives you free bits. But let's have a look at what the numbers are. So that would need 18. Huh, that's interesting. So maybe I should put some speeds in as well. What does that look like? Oh, it's still way under, isn't it? So using 45, maybe I should switch them all out for speeds then? Can I do that with you? No. So if we swap rods for speeds, will that hit the numbers? 135, so that's way over, isn't it? Just a nice suggestion. I was thinking my next mold design would be 5 assemblers wide instead of 3. When you say wide, do you mean... So do you mean sort of 2 more this way? Or 2 more that way? I suppose you must mean this way. And then they could go up. It looks like it could support it. I'm a bit surprised by that because I seem to remember it running out. But then it is 2 entire lanes of iron coming this way, isn't it? And I don't know that there'll actually be that much sort of spare. Because that's only a blue belt's worth of iron. What does it actually... What would it want overall? So we would be short technically by 16 machines in theory. But then, you see, it doesn't... This is one of the problems with this. You sort of can't actually support it. In fact, I've not done that right, have I? So I need to be able to pass them over. In fact, I think I normally do them there. Because that's like a spare slot. I think that's right. So then these would be passing over like that. Oops. So I don't mind that sort of suggestion, you know, that sort of thought, as it were. It's more the thing of, you know, you have to do it this way sort of thing. Yeah, so it's 16 short. So if it was... But what's it consuming? It's consuming 97, you see. So it's consuming more than 2... Although that's also the iron for them as well. And it's only producing a lane of that, which is short. If I did do that then, so if we had another sort of row here, basically. What happens with the numbers? We're still 10 short. It's sort of the problem, you can't really support it at volume. It's like... And that's 150 being used, which is 90... So it's more than 4 belts of iron. See, it just gets bonkers. It's like... In a sense, what's the point? And when you're doing, you know, blue belt, you're actually just recycling a load of yellow belt anyway, so you don't need to make as many cogs anyway. It's all a bit sort of reductive in a sense. You know, so that those yellow belts is sort of irrelevant. It's not, you know, you're not actually making them when you're doing it, you know, when you're up to blue belt, because you're just recycling, you know, recycling all of this basically. Yeah, so it is short. In fact, did I redo it? No, 16. So it's using 97.75 iron, so it's too much. So if we swapped in the prods again, so if this was 3 prods, yeah, it's now using, wait, why has that changed so dramatically for just that small change? Huh. If we sped some of these up, not all of them, where do we get to then? So it's now using 78.25. 88. So that's probably about where we need to be, I think. It's not producing a lane, but that's fine. Yeah, okay. So 4 lanes of iron, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're going, well, I actually ran out. I mean, the big thing actually, I mean, I'll be honest, I mean, if I was you, I'd be making a proper, like, dedicated factory, essentially, for making belts, to be honest, because if you're doing mostly belts, if you're doing a lot of bots, in fact, those could be fasts, couldn't they? So we put them out so many. If you're doing, you know, lots of belts like you were with the space signs, then I would probably I'd probably build an entire factory just to make belts and inserters, probably. Because the big thing, I ran out of lube, basically. That was the big thing I kept running out of, really. So you could do something with maybe coal liquefaction to get all the lube in, and then the rest of it maybe convert it to plastic for red circuits. You know, I don't know how it would balance up, but need one there. Because you can't put prods in these, can you? No. Just speeds, and there's no real point in doing that. Okay, so I've not got the inserters for putting them in. I guess if we just go... Oops. Oh wait, doesn't one of them not use... Yeah, they don't use gears at that level, do they? But they do use them then there. Been a bit haphazard with this, so we also need to bring lube in. And these just need iron plates and those, so we can manually limit that chest. They need green circuits though, so what we need is a combo line of green circuits and red circuits. Again, didn't really supply what we need, I don't think, but we're not even going to be making them at that sort of volume. So you then get, yeah, so we can just have a inserter there. Doesn't that also need something else? No. Cool. And I guess I could do my new favourite trick of using that to sort of block or force only the reds, or let only the reds through. Might as well save a little bit. You don't need gears, but you do need plate. Cool. So we need somewhere to bring the lube in, so we might as well do that on this side. Even the build up of it. But yeah, it was lube I ran out of, or kept running out of. Each blueprint has over 4,000 rail. Oh my lord. Yeah, you're going to need a rail factory as well then. That's sort of what I'm going for. I mean, it's not on that scale probably, but you know, the aesthetic series, that's kind of what I'm going for there. It's meant to be that there'll be a railway factory, basically. So we need to put these somewhere, don't we? Now, what we could probably do, actually, is swap those out. But, yeah, let's use storage chests. Storage chesticles. So this one's, this is blue belt. And this is blue belt. No. Pick the right thing. Oops. And that's a blue... one of them. Oh, was that? Okay. Let's do that then. Let's be fairly economical with things. It is... No, it needs red. It doesn't need... That's right. Doesn't need blue. There we go. So this is the splitters because it's the red. That one doesn't need red things, does it? There we go. That's better. But we can put another one of them. So this is undergrounds. Connected to the logistics network. And we want like at least 400, probably more. And then this needs to be blue splitters. Call that 200, probably more. And then these are both blue splitters. Yeah, these are both. I mean, we could just get this going mental, like you normally need it. So it's, if it's like 4,800 in each, if we call it 8,000, and that'll do. This one needs to be a requester for red splitters, but it needs to be like all of the red splitters. This one needs to be a requester for yellow splitters. It needs to be all of the yellow splitters. That one needs to only activate if we run out. Helps if you get the right symbol, so just put that on. Say 100. And that one only activates if we run out of red splitters. 100 of them, not 1,000, 100. And then this one is requesting red undies, like all of those. And this one only switches on if we run out. Oh, actually it needs to be a bit higher than that. In fact, what did I... So set that to 100. Yeah. 200. So this is going to be requesting yellow undies. And that is only doing it if it is less than 200. And this should be hard capped to a stack. Oh, no, that isn't. Oh dear. That's hard capped to a stack. Isn't there another chest in here somewhere? If there is, I don't know where it is. That should be lube. Lube. I've been a bit inconsistent with that, haven't I? Maybe if I move that there. This gives me a room to put balancers in as well then, with the pipes around. Oh. Also, I found under creative testing my liquid station isn't up to scratch at the moment, so I need to redesign there. Yeah, I mean, I was saying it earlier. You need to be a little cautious with liquids, particularly in creative, because, you know, like, so these here where I was, you know, sticking in, you know, the full oil pipe, it literally absolutely saturates it, and that's actually fairly difficult to achieve, particularly over distance, because of the whole sloshing thing, and, you know, doesn't, you know, if my trains are a long way away and we're pumping it up, unless I have like just almost like a continuous line of, in fact, actually that doesn't work either, but you have to be quite careful with liquids, particularly in creative, because it like hides any problems really. It's a bit naff that way, if I'm honest. So if that was there, it's wrapped around that. Is there somewhere nice I can put this roboport? Not really. But we could put it sort of here. Because, I mean, you know, this is the final form, so it needs a roboport integrated in it. There's no power for these. Oh, that's an error. So can I move those up? And that still works? Yes and no. That gets in the way. So maybe that one goes on that side. Normally for this one, I'd actually be sticking in a substation, to be honest with you. Would that cover everything if I put a substation there? And then where? So maybe if the stub, no, it needs to be there, doesn't it? So it's not connected. That's not very helpful. Can I just put one in, say, in one of these? I can, can't I? So we can have one there. And it doesn't connect to that, so let's put one in there. Unless... No. No. Okay. Lights. Camera, action. Right. I need lights on these. Let's do that. Light it up like a Christmas tree. And then maybe some lights just there. This needs to level up. Nope, that didn't work. Oops. Cool. Oh, for purple signs, I have a rail assembler that produces 45 per second in each assembler, but that one will be a solo one. And now that I'm thinking about dedicated mall build, are sounding good. Separate lube build might be useful. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's you'd use it for basically almost nothing. It's almost like a redundant part of the game, because it goes into electric engines, but it's tiny. You don't really need that much for electric engines at all, really. You know, even at megabase scale. But when you start factor in, you know, that every single blue item in the game, you know, blue belt needs 20, and every blue splitter needs 80, and every blue underground needs 40. What was that? I've lost count there. 20 plus 800, 140. So if you make one of each, you've got to have 140 lube, which is not a lot. But as you say, if you've got, you know, 200,000 bits of belt in your base, or more, easily more, that's gallons and gallons and gallons of lube, and you've no way of biasing this production to make heavy, which is why, again, coal liquefaction wins out for me if you're making lube, particularly for things. But that's it's one of the things I would make again. You know, I would have a dedicated. I say it's almost why I'm doing the aesthetic series, to see how that works. And it's just a proper dedicated factory for making, you know, belt at volume, but also inserters probably. Cool. So I've gone way over. But that's it for today, I think. Obviously, I need to make the lower level versions of this, because we don't want these. The red version, you know, won't even probably have this part of it, and then, you know, the yellow version won't have the rest of it, but it'll be expandable again, or, you know, modular essentially again. Yeah, but that's it for today. Let's back my schedule up. But as previously discussed, I keep saying this over and over again because I'm tediously repetitive like that. But basically, I am not going to be streaming next week or the week after, because next week I'm going to be at WASD, WASD, a gaming event. And then Sunday, the next week after that in the UK, it's Easter. And I will be doing basically a massive amount of domestic activity, like cleaning the kitchen basically is the big job. so that I can hopefully move this year and it's all clean and I don't get fined for, you know, being dirty and whatever. But yeah, so basically, no streams for the next 2 weekends. However, I will be back tomorrow, where we'll be continuing the aesthetic series. But I say that'll be it for 2 weeks then. And I'll come back. What would that then be? That would be the 22nd of April. We'll be reviving Satisfactory. So where it says Satisfactory returns, that will be in a couple of weeks' time. I might do like a special. Every stream that weekend is Satisfactory just to get back into it, really. I haven't touched it basically since Fixmas, and I'm a bit lost. I haven't a clue where I am basically. So I may do a special 4-day, you know, thing of that. That's a lot of Satisfactory though, particularly since no one particularly watches those. But yeah, so I say back in 2 weeks basically. So. The VOD for this and every single stream will be going up over the next couple of weeks. There's also all my archived VODs there, so my Dyson Sphere playthroughs, my Satisfactory playthrough, my No Spoon Run, Mega Factory series, all that jazz is up on my YouTube channel. As it says there, it's alias to Triggles, but it is Trismegistus, the proper channel name. And I will be like reviving the Discord. For if and when people want to do that, particularly so that if anyone wants to do a bit of multiplayer, we can do that, do voice chat via Discord. Yeah, so I say, if you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it and you might consider coming back for another one. Oh, hello, Binky. It was right in the end there. Yeah, so lost my train of thought there. Yeah, if you've been watching, I hope you enjoyed it and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.